We're coming to you live in the southern township of Yankalilla or Normanville. They sort of like merge into one another nowadays, so take your pick. Fun fact, one half of the top Australian radio duo Merrick and Rosso, Merrick has a holiday house down here. And why wouldn't you? The beach sand is absolutely, it's like fine powder down here in the south. It's just like walking on baking flour. Really nice. Anyway, we're about to head off. Let's get into it. Oh yeah. Should have stopped off for a number one, but there was that many of us here. Like the survey toilet would have been bombarded. So we're holding it in, and we're going to head off to Port Noarlunga. On the way, we'll hit Port Noarlunga, and maybe another Unga if there is any. There's plenty of people out taking happy snaps of us on the other side of the road, I can see. Everybody likes a sports bike gathering. Very fun, family-friendly atmosphere here on this Sunday. Perfect weather, absolutely perfect. I should have stopped off for a number one in that hotel, but oh well, we can hold it. Scenery is quite different from Strathalbyn way. It's a little bit more barren. Barren, vulnerable scenery. But nice all the same, in its own way. A little bit more windy, sweepy bends on this road. Shooby dooby 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 doo wop wop. View. See the ocean to the left of me there. If I had the camera on the left side of my helmet, you get a much better view. But whole trip back to Adelaide we'll have the beach to my left side. It's only just past the first lot of hills, so we're quite close to it. And as we go along, the scenery is just going to get better and better. We'll actually hit the ocean road itself and we'll be able to see it now. It's relatively close. To a soundtrack of sports bike. Spot will overtake this falcon. Beautiful. Textbook overtaking. Heading up towards the Myponga Reservoir, I do believe. Be over the top of one of these crests sooner or later. Here we can see it up ahead now. On the other side of these pine trees. It had a very small part in our most famous murder mystery in the whole of the state, where they thought the bodies of these kids, all taken from one family, someone, I can't remember the exact story, but someone said, might have been one of the psychics, that the bodies of the kids, or it was a false tip-off, the bodies of the kids were dumped in the reservoir, and so they emptied the entire reservoir out looking for them, and of course they weren't there. But if we can get a look at it, it's actually just a massive expanse of water. And we're not going to be able to see it because the damn wall's in the way. Oh well, we're riding across it anyway. Trust me, there's water beneath us. We'll be able to see it, I reckon. There's a lookout on the top of this hill in front of this red Triumph in front of me, where a lot of people park, and you can take some happy snaps of your bike or what have you in front of the reservoir. We've done that before. It makes for a pretty good photo. But I don't think they're going to stop here today because we've already had the group split up and go missing a couple of times. We've had plenty of stops, so I think we're just going to ride past. If we don't though, we're going to get some cracking photos and video footage. So I'm kind of hoping we do. I'm going to do a video coming up of our most famous murder mysteries of South Australia. Basically because it's the video nobody wants it that you're going to get anyway, basically because it entertains me. Because I'm a little bit of a history buff. And there was a BBC doco, about 5 years ago or something, where they named Adelaide as the murder capital of the world, and it upset a lot of people. But you know what, there's some truth to it, so if the shoe fits, lace that bad boy up, in my opinion. I'll be giving you some not so fun facts about all the heinous, horrible crimes that have happened in this city. This city that otherwise has next to no crime. Basically, our state, the whole state of South Australia, was not a convict settled state unlike the rest of Australia. This whole state was free settlement, so everyone came from all around Europe and the rest of the world and settled here under their own free will. None of us were prisoners. So it has that going for it. It also, from the Second World War up until now, is pretty much when things got out of hand as far as murders and all that goes. One alarming statistic that I've recently read is that since the 1950s until now, 115 murders have gone unsolved in this state. 115 people minimum, you could have been done, are still on the loose. Yeah, it'll be like a full-on crime video where I ride around on a red Ducati and fight crime. Not really fight crime, but I'll just tell the stories anyway and visit the locations where things happen. We get nice and close to the ocean now. This road's just absolutely one of the most picturesque roads in the whole of the south. Everybody knows about it, it's not really a secret. If you've got a sports car or a sports bike or anything and everything in between, you'll enjoy this little twisty section of road right by the ocean in the hills. It's just great. Even Harley people, our Harley people sort of never smile and always try and play the tough guy role. I've seen them smiling along here, that's how good this road is. Of course, again, if I had the camera on the left side of my helmet, it would be a much better view. But you get a general idea, it's a really good stretch of road. Actually gets quite windy down here sometimes. Not today, today is absolutely perfect. But we came down here last year on a previous group ride. I was on a little Honda CBR 250 it got really windy, and there was another bike, the leader of our group at the time, who was on a KTM 690 Duke, which is 150 kilos, so it's actually a bit less than my Honda at the time, and you could see every time a gust of wind would come up, we'd both move around in the seat, and it was, well, you get all the elements along there, that's for sure. It's quite exciting, very enjoyable. Just pulled over to, oh, he's just going to wait for me in there. That was nice of him. That guy rides a Yamaha MT-09, which is one of the most popular naked bikes on the market at the moment. Just hear nothing but good reviews about that bike. It's a real fan favourite at the moment. There's a turn up to Port Noarlunga. This is where like the Australian version of the Tour de France had their cycling race just a few weeks prior. Down here somewhere. One of their races anyway. And all the Lycra crowd were having a bit of a pedal. Now it says Aldinga Hotel. The sign says Port Noarlunga. I don't even know where we are anymore. It's all a bit confusing. But we're in the south. Deep, deep south. Go past the beach where you can legally get a suntan without your speedos. So you can get a matching tan on your twig and berries, your meat and two veg, your muff, your fanny, your beaver, your hooters. You can all get a matching tan quite legally on that beach. Fairly recently developed area. It's just see how everything's relatively new. Built up. Housing here is quite affordable, and the beaches, like I said, mentioned earlier, they're just fantastic. The water is crystal clear. You couldn't get a better beach to swim at. You can even surf down here. The waves get reasonably high around the Moana area. Some good surfing waves there. It's just absolutely perfect swimming and surfing beaches, and to live by them. Everything, the fixtures are all really nice and new. In time, this is going to be quite expensive to live here, but at the moment it's, compared to the seaside suburbs further north near Adelaide, it's much, much cheaper. You get nicer beaches, and in time it'll be much more expensive. It's just going to go up in value substantially. It's a little bit of a real estate tip for you all there playing at home. There's not a lot of seaweed down here either, so if you're all get freaked out when a little bit of seaweed touches your leg while you're swimming, it's a good beaches to swim out down here. You can see the fish clearly in the water as they swim around your legs. A lot of people freak out when they come down here from overseas and they're like, oh, sharks, blah blah blah. We have shark patrol planes in the summer. They fly over pretty much every 15 minutes. And they can spot the shark easily, and then they call out the surf lifesavers in their little rubber boats, and they circle the shark and rush it back out to the deeper waters, and it's super duper safe. I once saw, I think it was 2 summers ago, maybe 3 summers ago, it doesn't matter, I saw a gigantic octopus that had washed up on the sand down this way, and it was like the size of 2 dinner plates. It was huge. Just been washed up. And I saw a brown snake. The only time I've seen a snake in the wildlife, it's one of the most deadliest snakes there is. And it was on the path leading down to the beach. You go through these little knee-high bushes and stuff. And I was about 10 metres away, so I was a safe distance away. And I see this snake, about a metre long snake, rear up on its back, and it was going after a moth that was flying in the air and like trying to catch it, like zooming after it. It's just one of the most awesome things. All the southern rowing enthusiasts go for a little paddle in this little canal along here. You can just see the start of it. It goes further in there and they get their kayaks out and they have a bit of a row and stuff. I've never had a row down here, but I do have one. I usually used to go up near the Port River, which is where our power station is, and I'll do a video up there as well at one point. And again, it's not really a river, it's just like an inlet from the ocean. Not too dissimilar to this. And it gets loaded with dolphins down there. Like I've seen, no joke, I've seen 7 dolphins at one time prancing around, jumping out of the water and all sorts around my little 1.5-2 metre kayak while I was out there just rowing around. It's just fantastic. We'll probably see one when I ride down there. Not here. looks too shallow for ocean wildlife, and it's much deeper in the Port River and the dolphins hang out there. But I reckon I'll get some on film, on video. We'll see. Now that I've said it, we probably won't, but we'll see. They do hang out a lot down there. So we've finally made it to Port Noarlunga through Port Willunga, not to be confused with Old Noarlunga. Port Noarlunga, very nice, picturesque town. Everything's modern. Look at the roads, smooth, new housing, excellent. Still a little bit of a trek from the city, but you know, when you've got a beach this nice and all this new modern facilities, very appealing. Oh yeah! How's that for a camera angle? Keyboard heroics, giving you the camera angles nobody else does. Subscribe today for more weird camera angles.